Commander Sarah Chen had seen her share of impossible situations during her 15 years of deep space exploration, but standing in the crystalline throne room of the Zephyrian matriarchy, facing down a 7-foot-tall alien queen with 4 arms and eyes that glowed like molten gold, definitely ranked among the top 5. The queen's chest armor was cracked, leaking a luminescent blue fluid that Chen recognized as Zephyrian life essence. Without immediate medical intervention, Queen Veltara would die within the hour, and with her death, the fragile peace treaty between humanity and the Zephyrian Empire would crumble into interstellar war. "Your Majesty," Chen said, her voice steady despite the weight of billions of lives hanging in the balance. "I'm a trained field medic. That armor needs to be removed so I can treat your injuries." The queen's secondary arms gestured weakly, while her primary hands pressed against the ornate breastplate that covered her torso. The armor itself was a work of art, intricately carved from some kind of biometallic compound that seemed to pulse with its own inner light. But right now it was more of a death trap than protection. "Impossible," Queen Veltara rasped, her translator device crackling with interference. "Only my husband may touch the sacred armor of the matriarch. It is the oldest law of our people." Chen glanced around the throne room. The Queen's royal guard stood at a respectful distance, their own armor gleaming, but their postures spoke of helplessness. Behind them, the Queen's advisors whispered among themselves in their native tongue, their distress palpable. "Where is your husband?" Chen asked. "Dead," the Queen replied, her golden eyes dimming. "Killed in the same battle that wounded me. The succession armor can only be removed by a matriarch's bonded mate, or..." She paused, struggling for breath. "Or what? Or by one who would take his place." The implications hit Chen like a meteor strike. The Zephyrian bonding ceremony was more than marriage. It was a literal melding of life forces, a commitment that lasted beyond death. For an outsider, especially a human, to touch the sacred armor would be tantamount to claiming the role of royal consort. Chen's mind raced through the diplomatic ramifications. Earth's relationship with the Zephyrian Empire was already strained. 3 border worlds hung in the balance of this peace negotiation. If the Queen died, the Warhawks in the Zephyrian High Command would have all the excuse they needed to launch a full-scale invasion of human space. But if Chen touched that armor, if she accepted the role being offered, she would essentially be binding herself to an alien monarch, abandoning her human identity, her career, her entire life. "Commander," came a voice through her comm unit. It was Captain Rodriguez from the medical bay aboard her ship. "We're detecting massive life sign fluctuations from the palace. What's your status?" Chen muted her comm and looked at the dying queen. Veltara's breathing was becoming more labored, and the blue fluid was pooling on the crystal floor beneath her throne. "Your Majesty," Chen said carefully, "if I were to accept this role temporarily just long enough to save your life, what would happen afterward?" The Queen's golden eyes focused on her with surprising clarity. "You would become my consort. In the eyes of my people, the armor would recognize you as family, but..." She coughed, specks of blue staining her lips. "Zephyrian bonding is not like human marriage. It adapts to the nature of those involved. A warrior's bond, a healer's bond, a diplomat's bond, all different." Chen understood. The Zephyrians were an evolved species, their customs more flexible than their rigid reputation suggested. She could save the Queen's life without necessarily condemning herself to a life of alien royalty. "What kind of bond would we have?" Chen asked. "That would depend on you." Sarah Chen of Earth. The use of her full name, spoken in the Queen's native accent, sent a chill down Chen's spine. She had never told Veltara her first name. "You know who I am. I know you led the rescue mission that saved 3,000 Zephyrian civilians from the plague outbreak on Kepler 442. I know you refused a Medal of Honor because you said you were just doing your job. I know you have spent the last 5 years learning our language, our customs, our ways of thinking." The Queen's voice grew softer. "I know you are exactly the kind of person who would sacrifice everything to prevent a war that would kill millions." Chen felt the weight of destiny pressing down on her shoulders. In the distance, she could hear the sound of approaching ships, reinforcements from both fleets, arriving too late to change anything. She stepped forward and placed her hands on the Queen's chest armor. The moment her palms touched the biometallic surface, the armor began to glow. Chen felt a rush of sensations. Not romantic love, but something deeper and more complex. Understanding, respect, partnership. The armor recognized her not as a conqueror or a replacement, but as someone willing to bridge two worlds. The breastplate dissolved under her touch, revealing the Queen's injuries. Chen immediately went to work, her medical training taking over as she sealed the wounds with biofoam and stabilized the Queen's vital signs. "There," she said, stepping back as the Queen's breathing steadied. "You'll live." Queen Veltara sat up slowly, her golden eyes now bright with life. Around them, the royal court had fallen to their knees, not in submission, but in respect. "Rise, Consort Chen," the Queen said formally. Then, more quietly, "Thank you, partner." Chen felt the weight of her new title settling around her like armor of her own. She had saved a life, prevented a war, and found an unexpected alliance. As for what came next, well, that was a problem for tomorrow. Today she had proven once again why humanity deserved its place among the stars. "Just doing." "My job, Your Majesty," Chen replied with a slight smile. "Just doing my job,